Good evening, sweet world. Welcome to Gamesoverplastic, a very special breaking news limited edition episode, a DLC. We just saw that Sony State of Play, that PlayStation State of Play, so we're here to talk about our initial thoughts and some, of the games that we want to talk about. We're not going to go over every single game because there were a lot. But we're going to talk about some games that kind of stood out to us or that we just really want to talk about. Before we get into that, I do want to welcome in my two co hosts, Hodge. Hi, Hodge.
Hello. We're talking PlayStation today, which is why I have a blue background behind me. If you're on the video, everyone should watch the YouTube video. I think it's better than audio, but yes, I'm ready to talk some PlayStation
Or third party.
or third party. Yeah, yeah. Third, just what's coming to PlayStation, I should say.
All right. Well, thank you, Hodge. Midnight, how are you?
I'm doing good. I'm wearing my blue glasses, my blue sunglasses in honor of PlayStation. Shout out to all the Sony ponies out there. We did just watch the 2025 PlayStation State of Mid, and I'm excited to talk about it.
All right. Well, I'm excited to talk about it as well. Before we get into that, this is Games Over Plastic, a video game podcast. You can find us on YouTube. Obviously, if you're watching the video version, you're on YouTube. You can find us on podcast services everywhere. Give us a subscription, leave us a review, really anything. Our main episodes go up every other week. And on that one, we take some write ins from users. If you want to leave us a write in, a comment, really anything. It's a fun time. But we've been doing a lot of DLCs lately, and we don't plan to stop in the future. So it's almost like it's a weekly show. Almost. Um, all right. I just want to get right into things with our initial thoughts on the state of play. I think I'm going to start it off here. As we all know, I am the resident Sony defender on this podcast, the big PlayStation guy. I sleep with my PS5 in my bed. Me, Claire, and the PS5. Um, I did once say that PS5 is my favorite console of all time, and I stand by that. But this state of play was very interesting. I think before I get into exactly what I want to say, I think we have to stop expecting so much out of these state of plays. I think PlayStation has showed us what they think of the state of play and what they expect to deliver us. We're probably only going to get any state of play. We're probably going to get one first party game from PlayStation Studios and a bunch of these other games that will most likely come to other platforms. There's going to be some slop in there. There's going to be some crap in there. But there's also going to be some interesting games that might not get the shine that they would otherwise deserve if they weren't at one of these state of plays. I think our expectations, we have to stop expecting these aren't the showcases that they used to run for us back at E3 and when they had that last one in 2021. There's state of plays. I think we really have to temper our expectations. With that said, I thought the first, third, maybe fourth of this state of play was pretty good. I think the middle was boring and dragging. When I saw Borderlands 4, I kind of rolled my eyes and was like, really? Like, why is this here? Like, it's big enough IP where it shouldn't be here. I thought the end kind of picked up again at the end. But overall, I think it was not the best state of play, not the worst state of play. I think it was perfectly, as Midnight said, perfectly mid for Midnight, as I would want to say. There are some cool things that really got my eyes, some cool, interesting games, but overall, I think it's mid. But yeah, I mean, the first party game that was announced here, I never played. What's the first one
Returnal.
called? I don't even remember.
Returnal.
I never played.
Returnal.
Yeah, I never played Returnal. I've heard great things, but yeah, we got a Days Gone remaster. We know Days Gone is like my least favorite, maybe PlayStation first party game of all time. So, I was hyped for that. Yeah, let's get a nice Days Gone remaster. But overall, there were some cool things that I am excited to talk about. Yeah. Yeah, so that Kingdom Hearts 4 announcement was pretty crazy. No, I'm just joking around here. Next up, Hodge, what do you think? I know you're not a big fan of this. You hate everything PlayStation, so because you're an Xbox, we all know that.
Yeah, I'm gonna shoot one of those videos where I smash my PlayStation and say, "How dare you betray me?"
Smash
Not really,
my
but
PS5.
Yeah, but I honestly thought this was one of their worst state of plays I've ever seen. I was bored out of my mind almost the entire time. Like, I understand. I tried not to judge these shows based off if it's a game I'm not personally interested in, but even taking that into account, like I don't care about Onimusha or Shinobi, whatever, or definitely don't give a shit about Days Gone. But I it just, despite that, it didn't seem like there was any big announcements, because I'm sorry, like when your one more thing is a Housemarque game, like I get it's first party and you want to show a first party, but Returnal's a very niche IP. That's not a one more thing, holy crap, get ready for this kind of game, especially when it's just a CGI trailer. It felt like a super I was expecting, even if it was just Ghost of Yotei and more gameplay from that or something, like I would have taken that over the one more thing being an announcement from one of their smaller studios with a niche game. Like it wasn't for me. I'm not going to try and dump completely on it. I honestly would rate this showcase very, very, very low. Today we were gonna talk about basically all the games, but there was over 30 of them, and 25 of them I don't care about. So we're just gonna talk about our favorites. So I'm gonna try and focus on the positive. But overall, I thought it was one of the worst shows I've seen in a long, long time.
Yeah, as of June 28th, 2024, Returnal has sold just about 1.1 million copies. So I'm a little
Yeah.
shocked that it's getting a sequel, given the state of the industry we're
Is
in,
this
where
a
everything
sequel?
sell freaking
I thought this is a new
tenfold.
IP.
It's a new
I
IP,
think it's
but
a new
it's
IP. Yeah, I knew it was Housemarque the second, even though it was right before the title card, so I shouldn't say it was like very quick. But when he looks up and you see like the circle of lights coming towards him, I'm like, that looks straight out of Returnal. So when it said Housemarque, I was like, yeah, that makes perfect sense. But yeah, I don't think it's a Returnal game. But maybe it's like, who knows? Maybe it's like Metal Gear Solid 5 when they pretended it wasn't a Metal Gear Solid game for like half a
I mean,
year.
who
So
knows what it is since they didn't really show anything. So
yeah,
just
exactly.
a
You know,
little CG and the name of the game in
I mean,
2026.
it's also like a roguelike, whatever, because it said every time I die or whatever. So it's going to be another game where you're just starting from the start every time. So I don't know. I don't know. I'm interested to learn more, but like I said, I didn't think it was a one last thing kind of game.
Hmm.
all right. Midnight, take it away.
Yeah, so I'm kind of in the middle, I guess. I think it was perfectly mid. It wasn't a good showcase, but it wasn't horrible either, or state of play rather. I mean, there was a ton of games that I wasn't interested in, but there is a handful of games that I thought looked pretty cool. So that's cool. I'm not really mad at it, but it definitely didn't blow me away. It was just like, yeah, there's some games, and I might play like 4 or 5 of them. So it is what it
Yeah.
is.
I mean, I would hope you're not mad at it. I mean, I don't think we should ever get mad at video game presentations. I think there's more things in life that we should be more focused on.
Yes. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I do wish that it was better and that they had shown more. I agree that Soros was not a very good end cap because I don't care about Housemark and they didn't show anything. Like we didn't see any gameplay. We didn't see much about it. It's just like, oh, there's a game that we're making in 2026. So it is what it is. We're going to talk about it. There are still some games here for us, so that's good.
Yeah, I think we have to go back to like what I said. I think PlayStation has basically told us what these state of plays are going to be. You're going to get one first party game and a bunch of a mix match, a hodgepodge, there you go,
There
of
you go.
other things. All right, so let's just get right into what we want to discuss. I didn't really put mine in any particular order.
Mm-mm.
Um, but I'm gonna start with my first one I want to talk about, and that is Darwin's Paradox, and this is the platforming octopus game we saw. Um, I thought it looked a little interesting. At first, when they first announced it, I didn't expect it to be a platform. I thought it was going to be like an adventure game, kind of like where you're just like kind of going around as an octopus and just kind of like trying to solve a mystery or something. But the platforming kind of looked interesting. You can obviously die in the game because they had things that could kill the octopus. I'm interested in it. It's a platformer. I like platformers. I want to know more about it. It seems to have a story along with it. But yeah, Darwin's Paradox. Hodge, I'm curious. Did this catch your mind, catch your eyes?
The gameplay I didn't mind, but this kind of like setting vibe of it. I didn't like the. It's like it looked like Octodad meets Inside, and it just something about it. It just didn't hit for me. Like the
Hmm.
gameplay, it looked good. It was a 2D platformer, so I like that. But yeah, it's just the whole vibe of the game. I just did not mesh with me. I wasn't big on it, but I'm surprised. Oh, I'm not
Do you
surprised you're interested. I'm just, but yeah, it's not for me.
do you know why what the Darwin's paradox actually is?
No.
No.
It's like a real thing. It was Charles Darwin was wondering why these coral reefs could exist in the Pacific Ocean. There's a certain part of the Pacific Ocean that's like really barren and like nothing can live there, but there's these coral reefs that somehow survive there.
Hmm. I
That's what
don't
the
know.
Darwin's
Okay.
paradox is. Yeah.
That's
So I'm
interesting.
assuming
Yeah.
we're gonna be exploring some coral reefs.
Yeah. So one thing about this game that I just found out when I looked it up because I didn't remember this game at all. I was working during the showcase, so I was only paying like 80% attention. But one thing I found out about this is that it is from the former Arcane Leon studio director, Ramald Capron, who previously worked on Dishonored and Deathloop. So they got some chops there a little bit if you're into those types of games. But yeah, I mean, I don't really have much to say about this, but cool.
It was also, yeah, Hodge, you mentioned Inside. They got a lot of inspiration from Limbo and Inside and Little Nightmares. So yeah.
Oh, okay.
So
That makes sense.
Darwin's paradox. I'm interested in it. We'll see if we can see some more of it. All right. Midnight, let's go to you. What do you got, bud?
All right. So one game that I was interested in was the new Onimusha game, Onimusha Way of the Sword for 2026. I thought this game looked freaking sweet. It was giving Ghost of Tsushima vibes a bit. Of course, feudal Japan, samurais, Ronin, whatever. Cutting people up. The gore was really nice. Like you was literally cutting people in half, and it was gory, and I like that. I've never played an Onimusha game, so I have no experience at all, no reference with this franchise. But I'm very interested in this one from the looks of it. The graphics, the combat, everything looks sweet. Yeah, it just looked really cool. And I thought it was interesting and a little weird, but interesting at the very end. Like we're in feudal Japan, but all of a sudden at the end, he starts talking to like a sci-fi cuff or something. So I don't know what's going on there. Shout out to Forspoken on that one. But no, this is a
Woo!
game I am interested in. I will keep my eyes on. Onimusha. You guys got
Yeah,
thoughts?
I had no. I've never played one. Probably don't plan on playing one, but I'm excited for the people who are really like into it because people were hyped when they like brought the older ones onto modern platforms. So this should be interesting. And we got like they're bringing the second one to PS Plus as well.
They are. That's cool.
Yeah, I don't care about Onimusha. Like so the whole show we watched it basically along with our friends in Discord, and we were kind of chatting, quipping about everything, and a couple of our buddies were super excited about Onimusha's return and all that, and obviously these games were both of them announced. I know obviously the new one was, but I didn't know if the second one remastered was announced or not, but they were really excited for it to come back. So I'm excited for those who are excited for Onimusha. I know it's one of those where it's like I've heard the name for 20 years, but I've never
Hmm.
bothered playing one. So I know it's a beloved series, and I'm happy for those who have it coming back. But yeah, I can't pretend to care. So
You didn't like the trailer. I thought that combat looked really fun. I mean, I don't know.
really,
Maybe you're not into like Souls ish combat. I guess.
no, I'm not really. But
All
yeah.
right. Well,
All
Sean.
right. Well, next, Hodge, you're up. What do you want to talk about, bud?
I will talk about Directive 8020, as I believe what it's called. The
I think it's Detective
over.
8020. I think.
Oh, is it Detective? Hold on,
I'm pretty sure it was
I gotta look
Detective.
it up. No, it's Directive. I was right.
Oh, it
It's
is.
a
All right, my
space.
bad. My bad.
Yeah, when I first saw it, I actually thought it was Dead Space, and I was like, "Are they actually? Did they revive Dead Space 2 remaster?" I got really excited because
They,
it
they
looked,
gave it to they gave it to
super massive. Yeah,
super massive. Yeah, I almost called them super
yeah,
giant, but yeah, super massive.
yeah, yeah, super. Yeah, so I was very excited to see that because Obviously, they did Until Dawn, which is a horror game that we talked about a lot on the Halloween episode. Great game. And sadly, a lot of their follow ups haven't been nearly as good. They're kind of in the 60s, 70s range on Metacritic. But this one looked really cool. Yeah, like I said, it gave me deep Dead Space vibes and stuff like that. So I'm very intrigued by this one. But with, like I said, with them not having the greatest track record since Until Dawn, I'm a little skeptical. But just from what I saw, it looks really cool. And space horror, as you guys know, I played Dead Space for the first time last year, and it got its claws in me. And I played Prey a couple years ago, which I love as well. So I'm very interested to play some in space horror, like Thing meets Dead Space kind of thing. So this one looks really cool, and I'm very interested to see more about it. So yeah, definitely. Directive 8020 is the first game that kind of excited me in the showcase.
Yeah,
Okay.
I thought this game looked pretty cool. I've only played I played Until Dawn earlier this year, as we talked about in October. I thought it was really good. I'm excited to see what this goes. I think the setting is pretty cool too. It's like that sci-fi, but it's like gonna be like a little horror. So that should be
Mm-hmm.
cool. I'm excited. I'm excited for it. I don't know if I'll play it right away, but Hodge, I'm excited to hear what you think when you do play it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
What about
I
you?
have some thoughts about this game because this is
Yeah.
one of my five. I had this one down too. So I was going to talk about it. So I'll talk about it now. Directive 8020 from Supermassive, like you talked about, the Quarry, Until Dawn. I just played the Quarry last year, as you guys know, and I enjoyed it. So this is a game I'm definitely interested in. I do like their games. I like their style of storytelling. I like that narrative with lots of choices and people live or die based on your choices, and it has some replayability if you're into it because of that. So that's cool. I am interested in this. I like space. I like sci-fi. I like all of that. I will just say one slightly negative. It's not really a negative, but I'm just going to point this out. I'm gonna go there. I'm going to be the guy that brings it up. A little bit of grifting here. This game had insane DEI vibes when I was watching this. Every single character that I saw was either a black person, which is fine, nothing wrong with that, or a white chick with like a little short haircut. So this is like completely like 2025 video games for you right here. I didn't see one white dude, which is fine. I don't have to be represented in every game. It's okay. But I'll just point that out. But I'm still going to play the game. That's all in fun. It's not that serious. I like the developer. I'm going to play the game. And yeah, hopefully it'll be good.
Yeah, I didn't really notice that. What I did notice was the main actress was the chick who was in Captain Marvel, and that movie's just bad. So I was getting a bad taste in my mouth just from that. But but the actress herself, I have nothing against. But that it was reminding me of Captain Marvel for that. And I'm just like, oh, I forgot how much I hate that fucking movie. But this game looks great though, so I'm not letting that ruin it for me either.
Yeah.
All right. Perfect. All right. Well, that was not on my list. So I'm going to talk about the next game on my list, and that is Hell is Us. This game looks really interesting. When I first saw it, I'm like, oh my gosh, it kind of gave me like a Death Stranding vibe. Like he's running around like a world that like seems like desolated, and there's like a
Mm.
little kind of like machine following him along, but then it kind of got into some more action gameplay. I'm super intrigued by it. I'm super intrigued by the world. It's kind of like a post-apocalyptic world where there's like these crazy kind of like creature things running around and you're basically trying to kill them. I think it looks pretty cool. I want to know more. The protagonist, you're running around with a hood, so it's kind of like Assassin's Creed cross Death Stranding, going around this world, desolate world, shooting things, killing things with a hood. They showed some other humans in the world too, so I'm excited to see where the story goes. I don't know. It looks cool to me. So, like I said, we didn't get a lot of it. Like I said, with these state of plays, you don't really get a lot in these like a minute and 30-second trailers sometimes, maybe even
Mm-hmm.
less. So I am excited for this one. But Hell is Us. Did you guys want to talk about this at all?
Yeah,
Yeah, I'll go. So,
yeah, you can go. Yeah. No, you go. I'm just saying it's on my list too. So, but you go first.
okay. It is not on my list, but I was interested by this game. I was kind of wondering. I was like, "What the hell is this?" It was giving me Division
Yeah.
vibes a little bit. It was giving me Death Stranding vibes. It was giving me all these different weird vibes. But it looked very interesting, unique setting, pretty good graphics, cool looking combat, and a lot of weird different elements. Like you were fighting like these weird ghost looking things, and I
Hmm.
don't know. I don't know exactly what's going on, but I'll keep my eye on it. I looked up
Hey,
this developer here. It's Rogue Factor. I've never heard of them. I was looking at the previous games that they've made. I've never heard of them. Mordheim, City of the Damned. But
no,
yeah,
I don't
hopefully
know.
it will be good.
Yeah,
Hodge, what
yeah, I
did
like
you
that.
think?
You got, hang on, when you got the drone following you around. Also, the little kid he gives that like remote to about like 30 seconds into the trailer. He looks like a kid from like the Polar Express.
Maybe it is. Might be the kid from Polar Express.
Oh,
Does
the
Tom Hanks play
animation of
him?
that movie.
Does
Oh,
Tom Hanks play him?
the animation of that movie is it's horrifying.
I know.
But no, yeah, this game when it was revealed, I think it was revealed for the first time last year, and it looked really cool. And now we got to see a little more gameplay, and yeah, this game looks awesome. Like you said, it's like Division meets Death Stranding meets like Destiny with the little floating thing. Like it's really cool looking, and I am very excited to learn more about this game and the fact that it's coming out in September.
September
Uh,
4th. Yep, September
yeah,
4th.
which means one of the probably one of the. I mean, I'm sure there's other fall games I can't think of off the top of my head right now, but knowing that there's one fall game for me, I'm very excited to hop into this one. Yeah, it looks sweet, so I'm excited to see more about this game.
All right. Yeah, that was pretty cool. I was reading something. They describe it as a like a horror like thriller game. So who knows?
Yeah, sweet. Oh, really
All
quick,
right.
going back to Directive 8020, that's coming out in October, which is perfect for a spoopy game. So I'm
There
excited
we
for that.
go.
Yeah.
There we go.
Woo!
Halloween game for us.
Here we go. Sorry, I thought I was Dak Prescott. Sorry. All right, Midnight, you're up.
I'm up. Okay. So this one here is one that I don't really know if I'm interested in, but at the same time, it was interesting, no doubt. It was Digimon Story Time. Now,
Ooh, okay.
I've never played a Digimon game. I think I is there cards for that? I've never done it. I've never got
Yeah,
involved in Digimon
there.
at all.
Okay, there is a Digimon card game that actually just came out. There used to be an older one. I am actually a pretty big Digimon fan. Like I really like Digimon a lot. So when I
Hmm.
saw this, I knew it was Digimon right away. But I'm interested to hear what else you have to say.
Yeah, so I don't know literally anything about Digimon other than it's, I guess, Pokemon adjacent. I don't know. So what I thought was
Big
cool is
difference, huge difference.
it looked like they were creating a Digimon Pokemon game. Like it looked like it kind of open world, fighting with the monsters, maybe capturing them. I don't know. And it's coming to PlayStation, so that's coming to modern platforms. It's not stuck on Switch, so that's good. The graphics and performance looked quite good. And I gotta say, I'm slightly interested. If this is giving me a Pokemon esque experience on next gen hardware, on PS5 Pro or PC, I might have to check that out. So it might be my first ever Digimon experience.
So they've had Digimon games kind of like this in the past. The Digimon World series was a series of RPG games. Like the first three were essentially turn based, like tactics games almost, and the last one was kind of like an hack and slash RPG. That was Digimon World 4, which I actually really liked too. You could play it 4 player, which is really fun. But yeah, this is giving me like cool stuff. And the Digimon games actually they have a history of having really good games. Actually, there's a lot of good Digimon games out there, like in a lot of different genres. So I know like Digimon Cyber Sleuth was awesome. Hodge, did you play that Digimon Cyber Sleuth?
Mm-mm. I've never played a Digimon game. I did watch the anime when I was a kid, but I've never played a Digimon game.
All right,
Mm.
Hodge, you gotta judge me. Ready? Here's my Agumon impression. Pepper breath. Pepper breath.
It's beautiful.
Pepper breath.
Okay.
Holly.
But actually this was on my list also. I I I'm like I've obviously Digimon is one of those where I haven't thought about it in years. Like it's just, it
Ooh.
fell into obscurity. It was like because to me as a kid, I did like it. Like I said, I watched it, but it always felt like we have Pokemon at home. Like it always wanted to. It was always in Pokemon's shadow, and so I just didn't really think about it. But I'm just kind of looking at the trailer again, and I love that at the end they show the same Digimon that they've always shown since I was a kid. I can't. It's been a while, so I'm
Metal
forgetting their
Greymon.
name. Like
It's Metal Greymon.
the yeah, and the dinosaur with the black kind of skull thing,
Yeah.
and then there's
It's
the
Metal Greymon.
Yeah, and then the right next after it's when he transforms into like the Gundam looking one, and like it's so
Yep.
those are such like to me iconic Digimon, and so I like it like as opposed to whenever we see a Pokemon trailer, it's now for a new game coming out. It's Pokemon number 1700, and I'm like I've never seen that thing in my life, but having a Digimon game where it's like oh yeah I remember that one. I don't know the names, but I remember that one. I had the toy of that one. That one was sweet, and so I was kind of excited, and the fact that it looks like I realized pretty quickly why it intrigued you, Midnight, because when you're running around the town, it looks kind of like Persona. And so I was just like,
Mm.
oh yeah, it looks kind of like because that's actually what I thought it was at first. I thought it was not well, I didn't think it was a Persona game, but I thought it was like that kind of game. Because I didn't think there because I also didn't see Atlas before, the trailer started. So but yeah, it looks really interesting, and some of the gameplay looked like this is what I wish Pokemon would do, where it looks like a big open world with a whole lot of. I mean, this is Digimon, but if it was like a whole bunch of Pokemon running around, not kind of the sporadic ones in their half-assed open worlds like they have now, but. But yeah, it looks interesting. I doubt I'll play it unless maybe it comes to PS Plus or if it's a Game Pass game or something. I don't know if it's exclusive or not, but it's definitely not one I'll buy. But it caught my eye when I saw it. So yeah, it brought me back to my childhood seeing Digimon again. But yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, when I first saw it, I thought it was one of those Chinese like Genshin Impact, freaking Wuthering Waves ass games.
yeah.
So then I was surprised when it was looking like very Pokemon esque, and I was like, oh shit! And then it was Digimon, and I was like, oh, I've heard of that. I know that. Maybe I'll try it.
You should try Digimon World Next Order. That is a game that's it gave off very similar vibes. It came out in 2017, I think. Yeah, 2017. And gave me
Next
very
order, you
similar
said?
vibes. It's a pretty good game. Yeah, World Next Order.
Hmm. What platform?
You can get it on
Looks
PlayStation,
like
Xbox.
it says
Yeah.
PS4,
Okay.
so it's PS4, Switch, Xbone.
Maybe I'll
Yeah.
add it to the backlog, but it's gonna be a low priority. I think I'm probably more
Yeah,
interested in this one since it's brand new.
yeah, that's yeah.
All right, they better have Flame Dramon better be in this game.
There you go.
Shout out to Litten and Incineroar.
Oh my gosh, no! Flame Dramon was way before them, bud. Flame Dramon.
Yeah.
Flame Dramon.
Mhm.
All right, yeah, Digimon. It wasn't on my list, but I did want to shout it out because I'm a big fan of Digimon. So Hodge, you had that one on your list, so should I just go back to me then? Do another one.
Yeah, might as well. Yeah, because I've done two
All
already. Well,
right,
actually, technically, I've done three of them already. So that's
all
okay.
right.
I don't. I'm not gonna make graphics for this one. We're just talking because we want to get the episode out. But so
Just
there's really
talking,
no order.
just talking,
Yeah,
just talk.
talking.
I have a kid who says that. I have a student who says that. "Oh, he talks more. Like, how did the character develop more? He talks more. I'm like, no, oh my gosh, talk. He says it all the time. I can't stand it. All right, next up on my list, I know Hodge, you're not a fan of this game because I know Split Fiction, the EA
Mm,
Originals game. He plays the two chicks. Um, I think it looks cool. I already promised Poot. Me and Poot play all these games together. We actually stream them together, so I'm gonna play this with him. Comes out March 6th. I didn't really need to see any more because I was already sold on it. I think it looks pretty cool. I think the story is gonna be interesting because you have like these two kind of like I don't even know. Are they sisters? I can't tell because they did make a comment about being sisters
no,
at one point.
it seemed like they were
They are
coworkers.
lesbian lovers.
Yeah, probably.
How do you know that?
But I think they were
I don't know.
coworkers. I
I
think at
mean,
the
why
start of the
not?
trailer. I think at the start of the
Why
trailer
do
it
you
said like
assume
they met
that?
at work or something.
I mean, they should be. That'd be cooler.
Why? Well,
Yeah,
then no.
true,
Then you would
true.
complain. Then you guys would complain about it.
No, I wouldn't complain about it. I got no problem with lesbians.
So I know they get trapped. There's like two different stories going on, but somehow they're intertwined with each other. So I'm excited for that. Split Fiction. It looks pretty cool. I'm really excited to play with Poot. So it should be a good time. We will be streaming it on
They
How
are
You Should Play's Twitch channel.
they are two
Or
authors who became trapped inside their own stories. There you go.
Yeah. So I think it will be interesting.
Yeah, I'm excited about this game too. I think it looks awesome. This is the Joseph Ferris game, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've never really played any of his games, but he always wins awards. If I can find a friend, if I have somebody who's willing to play with me, I'll probably
I've
play
offered.
this.
I've offered to play It Takes Two
Well, you
again.
just said you'll play with Poot, so you know
Yeah,
you'll
but
play it
I'd
twice.
replay it. But I'd replay It Takes Two, the other game that came out that won awards. I'd play that with you too. That game's really
Okay.
fun.
All right. Well, we'll figure. I'd rather play Split Fiction.
And
I'll
I know,
find someone.
Hodge. I know you like have not played It Takes Two. I think you would love It Takes Two. I think the platforming's
No, I've been
insane.
Yeah, I want to play it. I was gonna play with my brother, but he played it with his wife instead. I think they fell off though because his wife's not good at video games. So I think I could probably get him to play it again. But me and him played A Way Out actually, and I really liked that game. So it. I'm interested in this game, but I'm not like excited for it. The gameplay looks cool and everything. I'm not shitting on that. What really I was actually kind of intrigued in it more before this trailer, but when they got more into the dialogue, I wanted to kill myself because they just had that very cringy teenage girl kind of like quippiness, and I was just like, oh god, is it just gonna be this the entire game? And so the dialogue really kind of turned me off from the game, but the gameplay itself, and yeah, Joseph Ferris, from what I've heard, has never missed. Like I said, I've only played A Way Out. I want to play It Takes Two, but yeah, this one I'm interested in it, but it's not what I'm like super excited for. But it's a cool idea too, the fact that you swap between like a sci-fi and a fantasy world and do all these puzzles together. It's a really cool concept, but yeah, the dialogue from the characters really really ruined the trailer for me. But yeah, it's not killing my interest, but it's subduing it a little bit.
I'll give him this. Joseph Fares is a creative genius because every game he comes out with is completely like it's the same style of game, but the settings and the stories and the writing, they're all completely different.
Oh yeah, like A Way Out, you're just playing as two criminals breaking out of prison, and then you play It Takes Two, and you're like little clay dolls or whatever, little
Yeah, your Clay
move
Dolls
around.
are a married couple, and then you had
Yeah,
brothers as well before that.
yeah, I never played that one,
Yep.
but yeah, I've heard good
Yeah.
about that as well.
Yeah, so Split Fiction, I will probably play it. If anybody's listening from the Spank Bank and you want to play it with me, let me know. All right. Shout out to the Spank Bank. Or Hodge, if you want to play it with me when it comes out, let me know. We'll do it.
Yeah, we'll see when it comes out if what we're playing at the time.
All right. Who's next? What are we doing?
Midnight, you go.
All right. So my next game was Tides of Annihilation.
This is also on my list. Also on my list.
This game looked freaking sweet. This game was giving me major Final Fantasy energy. Like the character design, the combat, and the world was really reminding me of Final Fantasy to the point where I was actually thinking, like, is this some kind of Final Fantasy spinoff? But it's not. It's from a completely different developer. From a Chinese company, Eclipse Glow Games, apparently. But this game looks sweet. I thought the graphics looked great. I thought the world and the characters looked sweet. Takes place in modern day London, apparently. Which is ravished by mystical otherworldly forces. I'm reading this. So yeah, I mean, that sounds sweet. Counting me in. I want to see a little bit more, of course. I'm not going to just pre-order it, but I'm very interested. This looks like my type of game. So yeah, that was one of my games of the show for sure. Really sweet.
Same here. It has that DMC Stellar Blade kind of combat where you're running around the world and it's like hack and slash. I think it looked really cool. I definitely got the Final Fantasy vibes from it as well. Kind of set in like a more, not like a traditional Final Fantasy world, but a more advanced one, a more sci-fi kind of one. I am excited for it though, so it looks cool. You kind of stole everything I was going to say, but yeah,
it kind of had like Final Fantasy 13 energy about it, didn't it? I thought it
yes, yeah, it did, yeah.
It's funny you say that because just today someone was, I might have been like in a skill up video or something. Someone was talking about Final Fantasy 13. So that is actually literally the first thing I thought of when when that trailer started. I was like, is this Final Fantasy 13 or something? But
Dude,
yeah, I don't have any interest in this game, but it looks interesting, but it's not my kind of game. So happy you guys are excited for it though.
They say here, we've created a world that reimagines Arthurian legend, where themes of courage, loyalty, and heroism intertwine with an epic story. That sounds cool. I like that. So we'll see. They have my attention. I am at half mast. So let's see some more, and hopefully I'll be playing that. Sean and we can play it and do a spoiler cast.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll We'll see about the
Yeah,
spoilers.
if it's good, obviously.
Yeah. I
All
could see
right.
this being very much like a game that's like, oh my gosh, it's either going to be like awesome or it's going to be horrendous.
I won't
Right. Yeah,
lie.
probably nothing in the middle.
I think the comment I made about it in Discord while this trailer was happening was it looks like this looks like one of those games that looks super exciting, but then it comes out and no one even notices that it came out. It gets about a 68 on Metacritic, then goes away forever. Like that's
Hmm.
kind of the vibe I got from it. But I mean, I'm hoping I'm wrong, and I hope you guys love it. But that's kind of the vibe I got from it.
Yeah, that could happen. We'll
All right,
see.
Hodge, what else do you want to talk about?
All right, I'm gonna bring up. Maybe this might be on your guys' list. I'm not entirely sure, but I'm bringing it up because actually earlier today we were talking about this game as well. Is the Lies of DLC Overture? We were just talking about it today. How this is one of those games that has a setting that is so cool that I want to desperately like this game. But I played the Lies of P demo, and the first time I came up against, like, I don't even know if it was a mini boss. It might have just been a heavy armored enemy. I don't know what it was, but he killed me 4 times in a row, and I'm like, I just don't think these games are for me. So I dropped it, and and it wasn't like I almost beat it and just kept dying. It was he just destroyed me immediately 4 times in a row, and I was like, I'm not good at these games. So I dropped it. But then our buddy Chris, Australian Chris, he was saying that I guess between the demo and release they nerfed the game a lot, so it's actually a lot easier
Oh,
than
did
what
they
that
really?
demo. Yeah, apparently they made it easier than what the demo. I don't think it's like, it's not a kid's game easy, but it's apparently it's easier. So maybe because I have played more difficult games and beat them and whatnot, but um yeah, so I really want to try it again, and I think before this, when did it say when the DLC was coming out? It's just this summer. Okay,
Yes,
so yeah, I think
summer, yeah.
before the summer, I do want to try and hop back in because Lies of P is, I believe, still on Game Pass, so I want to hop in and play it. Hopefully, I can beat it because yeah, this is just one of those games where it's like I want to force myself to get good at it because the setting looks so cool and that world looks so awesome. The fact that it's like a Pinocchio game, but it's like Bloodborne meets Pinocchio. It's really weird, and so I really want to
Like
get
meets
into
like
it.
Grimm
And
fairy tales, basically.
yeah, so I really want to get into this game. So I'm hoping I can get into it and enjoy it. And so when this DLC comes out, I can enjoy that as well because it looks sweet. So yeah, Liza P Overture.
When it was first shown, I started thinking, oh my god, are they making a sequel? And is it going to be like Snow White? That's what I was
Yeah,
thinking. Because it started like, or like, I don't know, some type of other fairy tale at first because, it's in a different
yeah,
setting. But
yeah,
yeah, it looks cool.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
What about you, Midnight? What do you think?
I thought it looked sweet. I love the snow setting. I always love like in Call of Duty and stuff. I always love a good snow map. There's just something cool about traveling around in the snow, as long as it's not in real life, because then you're freezing and miserable. But no, it
Yeah,
looks
What a
awesome.
pinhead hell.
Yeah, Hoth. It is a DLC because it said base game required, so it's not a sequel.
Yep.
I was thinking maybe it's just like Lies of P2, but no, it's not. But yeah, I think this looks pretty sweet. I did not play the base game. One of these days I might. Heard good things. I do believe that Maddie or Cog, I forget which, was saying that first boss in Lies of P is like the hardest one, I think. So if you get past that one, it's supposed to get easier. But yeah, it looks awesome. I think this game will do and review very well. So could
oh
be
sure.
could be something to pick up in fantasy.
Well, yeah, especially since Liza P, I guess, was the studio's first ever game. So the fact that it was that good and it was their first game, now they've had this time, had 2 years to make this DLC, so it should be way better, even. So, yeah, it should be sweet.
Yeah, if Xbox was smart, they should probably buy them. Not
Yeah,
exclusives, obviously. It would still come to every platform as Microsoft does. But why not? That's a talented studio, and you've been working with them. So, but anyway,
yeah.
either way, they're doing their thing, and I like it.
Yeah, no, definitely. All right, moving on. What do we have left? Is that Hodge? Do you have anything left you want to talk about? Midnight? You have anything left you want to talk about? I got like one more thing.
I got one
I have
more.
one more. One more, yeah.
Go ahead, Hodge.
Want me to go again? Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
this
go
one, it
again.
might only be on my list. I think I'm in the minority of people who's actually pretty excited for this game, and that's the Midnight Walk. It's that claymation, like really creepy looking claymation game. It's like Tim Burton, but somehow even creepier looking. Like it looks really cool, and I'm, as everyone knows, I'm a sucker for the claymation look. Like Liza, a little off topic. Liza P or South of Midnight previews that come out this week, and just watching the
Looks
gameplay that people are.
awesome.
Yeah, it looks so cool, and yeah, I love that claymation look so much. That this game looks so sweet, and the fact that it's also, now that I have a PSVR 2, the fact that it's PS5 and PSVR 2, I'm really curious to try it in VR and see what it looks like. I hope it's the one where you can teleport, because as I've talked about, I do not do well with the motion sickness. So I hope it's kind of like a diorama looking down on it kind of game rather than moving forward, or you can teleport. But either way, I'm going to play it, and it looks awesome. So yeah, Midnight Walk. That's what I'm excited for. That's probably my most hyped of the show too.
I instantly thought of you when I saw it for this, because they revealed it last year, but I
Mm-hmm.
instantly thought of you when it came up again. I love that. Same with you. I love that like claymation art style. I think it looks really
Yeah.
cool. It's kind of like gives a lot of creepy vibes in the game too.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like
I
Little
instantly saw.
Nightmares too, is the other one I was thinking of.
Yeah, it looks like a little bit of Little Nightmares. I think I'm really curious to see how it like would play in VR. I think it'd be like, I don't know. You might get like lost, and you might get scared, just running around like these things coming out of nowhere. I think it looks cool though. It wasn't on my list, but it's like an honorable mention, basically.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, Midnight Walk. I know the Hodge would love this just from the art, and I just posted like the little picture or whatever. That is very clean Hodge style artwork, I think. How you got like the dude with the fire, with the red ring and the blue ring and stuff, and a cool logo. I put it in
Mm-hmm.
Discord. It looks sweet. This looks like a Hodge game. I was curious, so I checked out the what?
Oh,
Are you
I was
saying
just
something?
gonna say, I was gonna say when you post that picture, it reminded me of what the other thing it reminds me of. It reminds me of the book. I don't know if you guys ever read this book as a kid, The Stinky Cheese Man. It reminded me of that artwork as
What?
well. Just look it up. It's what it
Looking it up right now. I gotta look this up.
The Stinky Cheese Man and Other Fairly Stupid Tales. It reminds me of the art from that book. That is the other thing it was reminding me of. I was trying to put my finger on what else it reminds me of, and it's that.
Oh my gosh, you're so right.
Yeah. It's just this really weird kids book that I read growing up. It's so weird, but yeah, that's what it reminds me of. But yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, Midnight.
All right, no problem. Yeah, so this game, I was curious. I'm on Steam. I checked it out. This is this developer's first game, so they've never made a game.
Oh,
And it is VR supported. It says, by the way, and the publisher, I had never heard of the publisher either, but they've published a whole bunch of VR only games. So there you go. This looks
that's
like a
good. That means
VR
they're built
experience,
for
or
it.
it will be.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that means it's built for it, which is good. Yeah, that's awesome.
So yeah, I have really nothing to say to this. I think the art style looks cool. I'll leave it at
Yeah.
that.
All right, perfect. Midnight. You have one more game you want to talk about?
I have one more, I guess. Days Gone Remastered. Shout out to this game. I'm going to mention it. I know everybody was hating on this game because it just seems like another cash grab from Sony. Like, oh, we remastered a game that didn't really need it. Now give us $10 or more. But I will say this, as somebody who's never played Days Gone, there's a revisionist history about Days Gone where everybody kind of most people hated on this game, but now lately a lot of people are saying that it's really good. So I don't know why there's this revisionist history, but I'm hearing that the game's actually good. So I might actually try this at some point. That's why I'm saying this. I might actually try this. I will say that it looked really freaking good. Like if you actually look at like the gameplay that they did, it's really high res. Like it looks like a super clean modern game. Like it doesn't look like they half-assed the remaster. I was shocked how good it looked. So who knows? I'll have to see. I don't own the game. It's in PlayStation Plus Premium. So if I can play it on PlayStation Plus Premium and maybe just pay a $10 upgrade, I might do that. We'll see. I don't know if I'll pay $70 for it.
They're probably gonna make you buy the game because they did that for other games too, where if you have it on PS Plus, you don't get the $10 upgrade.
Well,
yeah, I remember
I might not be playing it then.
The only time they did let you upgrade from the PS Plus, I believe, was I think Horizon Zero Dawn did because they promised it or something, or maybe it was Final Fantasy remake. One of them I
It was
remember
remake. It was remake. It was
yeah, because everyone
remake.
got
Yeah.
really mad that they did that. They're like, "Oh, well, you know, if you got it off Plus, it doesn't count. You have to pay for the like full intergrade thing or whatever." And everyone was pissed off about that. But yeah,
I'll say this though, like I said again, just to reiterate, if you guys go on, anyone, listeners, whoever, go on YouTube, look at that Days Gone remastered in 4K. And you can't tell me like it actually doesn't look really good. Like I was really impressed with the level of the graphical quality on this. So I think they did a great job with the remaster. It
yeah.
looks
Well, that's
beautiful.
never that's never been anyone's complaint with Days Gone. It's always been a good looking game. It's just the gameplay is not good, and the stories, the characters are fucking horrendous. That's the
Yeah.
problem with that
But
game.
people are now saying it's good. So apparently it changed. We'll see. I'll eventually play it. One day I will.
Well, the thing is, it reviewed worse than it actually is. I don't like the game, but it reviewed worse than it is because the review copies that went out were busted, and then the day one patch fixed it. So all the reviews came out saying it's just a janky, busted game that you shouldn't play it. But then when the day one patch hit, it ran well. So it really it kicked itself right in the balls with their just stupid patch thing. That's why it has a lower rating than what a lot of people think it should have. But I just played it and I did not like it. So, but that's just me. But yeah, that's why the rating is lower than how
Mm.
people kind of react to the game.
Definitely. All right. Well, I have one more game I want to talk about, and that is WWE 2K25. No, I'm kidding. That announcement trailer, that
I
was
was
a
hoping you
really
were going to say
weird
that.
trailer. No, I've never played a WWE game. Probably never will. Never even watched a thing of WWE wrestling ever.
I
Funny story
can
about
I
WWE. Yeah, go on.
Oh, I was going to say I actually have something I wanted to say about WWE.
Go on.
Um,
Yeah, go.
I noticed that the big thing that they had in this was that they added like the island feature, which if anyone has ever played NBA 2K, it's exactly reminiscent of like the neighborhood or the town or whatever that they have now.
Yeah,
Basically,
yeah,
it is a cash grab. It's literally a cash grab. It's an open world environment that's designed for you to walk around with your My Player and go to stores and buy like drip and outfits and cosmetics and stuff. That's the whole reason why this exists, is just so that you can show off your gear. In other words, they want you to pay money. Like nobody's a huge fan of the neighborhood or anything in 2K, from what I understand. So I'm not surprised that 2K would add that. That's all I got.
All right, no biggie. All right, my game is Lost Soul Aside. That game that they finally got a release date. It's coming out in May. This game, so I guess this game was announced almost like 10 years ago, 9 or 10 years ago, and I guess it went through
Jeez.
development hell. But I think it's kind of cool. They didn't really show much about the story. All you really know is you're on a journey to try to like redemption. That's what it says. You're on and it's like an action adventure RPG. It looks pretty cool. I think the graphics look pretty cool. The art style. And there's like these creatures that invade like the dimension. So I don't know. I'm interested to see where it goes. They had a lot of different areas. They showed a lot of different, like a vast majority of different places and landscapes. So I think it looks cool. I know a lot of people are hyped for it. That's kind of why I'm interested in it. And it comes out in May, so we'll see. But yeah, Lost Soul Aside.
All right. I have nothing to add to that.
Yeah, this one it to me it looked like Final Fantasy 15 if it was set in the world of Forspoken. Um, it looked kind of like a platinum game to me, so it's kind of cool that
Yeah.
it's been in development hell for so long that it's finally getting its release. But yeah, I won't lie, this didn't really but I will say it did look gorgeous. It looks like a very good looking game, but
Yeah.
in terms of its gameplay and all that, I don't care. But I hope it's good for your sake, because yeah, like I said, it looks fine. It's not my kind of game, so I'll probably not touch it unless, who knows, unless it has like an amazing review, then maybe I will one day. But it's definitely not at the top of my list right now of exciting
No, totally.
games.
I get that. No, I totally get that.
All right.
All
All
right.
right.
Well, that's about it. All I really want to talk about. I didn't really, like I said, I think PlayStation has showed us what they think about these state of plays. They're gonna give us like one first party announcement, maybe two, and then just some cool games that if you're into the genres, they're gonna be cool to you, and then some games that you're just like, why is this here? Like Borderlands should not be at the state of plays. Like Borderlands doesn't need to be here.
Which is
I don't have a
hilarious.
problem with that. I actually thought the Borderlands gameplay looked pretty sweet. It looked really fun.
I rolled my eyes.
It's funny that you say that because, well, one, I thought they were going to announce a sequel to the movie when he said, "Guess what else?" Like, I
Oh
was
my
like, "Don't you?"
god!
I genuinely
just
thought
watched
they were
that.
going to say that. Oh God, Lord. But I genuinely thought that's what they were going to say. But then, when they were just talking about like all the release dates, and then they go, "Oh yeah," and then we're going to have a PS Direct to show
Oh
way
my
more.
gosh! Yes.
I'm like, oh yeah, so it's funny that you're like, I don't think this should be at a state of play, and instead they're going to get their own showcase from Sony for it. Like,
Yeah.
that's
Yep.
insane to me. I've never liked
Yeah.
Borderlands though, so it's whatever.
Let me just say, I thought that the gameplay looked freaking very fun and sweet, like very fast and fluid. Good, good graphics and stuff. So I'm not a huge Borderlands guy either. I haven't beaten any of the games. I played a little bit of 1 and 2, and it was okay, but as I understand, it goes way downhill after that. But maybe they'll bring it back. Maybe it'll be fun. We'll see. I did watch the movie last night, and it was pretty bad. It wasn't as bad as everyone had said because everyone said it was like the worst film ever, but it was pretty bad. Yeah. I think because my expectations were that it was the worst film ever, I was able to kind of just laugh off some of the cringe stuff. Like the one dude was like, "Nobody kills me but me." It's like, what the hell, dude? Anyway, let's move on.
Yeah, that's about it. All I really wanted to talk about.
Yeah, really, all I was gonna say as we wrap up was really quickly Metal Gear Solid, because I figured a lot of people would want us to talk about that or whatever. But it looks interesting. But I noticed it was like 30 frames, and that was really annoying me. But I'm excited to actually try that one because I've never, like I said, I've tried Metal Gear Solid so many times, but the controls are so jank now that I just can't do it. So I'm excited to see what a remaster does. But yeah, that's the only other game that really did anything for me at that showcase. Also, why does Sonic drive a car? He's faster than cars.
Oh
He
my
should just
gosh!
be
I was
running.
literally about to say that. Like, why does he drive a car?
Because it's a racing game.
Yeah, they
There
had
was
Sonic
Sonic
R.
R.
Didn't they have
Yeah.
Sonic R on was
Yeah,
that a
Sonic
I don't
R.
even
It's
know.
legitimately one of my favorite racing games of all time. I had it on Sega Saturn, and Sonic ran, Tails flew, Knuckles ran, Dr. Robotnik was in his little bubble, whatever thing you drive in, his little egg. Yeah, they had a Sonic racing game, and it was awesome. Why are they in cars? It's stupid.
Maybe it's a
But yeah.
competition, and they want it to be an equal playing field, so everyone's going to drive. I don't know.
Yeah, it's fair. Yeah, that would actually be one way to explain around it, to keep it on even ground.
I think it would
Yeah,
be
like
hilarious if everyone had cars except for Sonic and Shadow.
Yeah.
they just run. Yeah.
They just
Which
run.
is funny because Shadow does drive a motorcycle in the games for whatever reason, and he did in the movie for
Yeah,
whatever reason.
in that Shadow the Hedgehog edgy game where he has guns.
Yeah, so dumb. But yeah, that's all I had to talk about. Yeah, I didn't think it was that great of a show, but there were some games that I'm excited for. So,
All right. Should we do final thoughts?
I mean, I think
yeah,
we kind of laid out our final thoughts. You know, like I said, I think we need to tame our expectations with these. Sony has told us what they are. That's about it, though. I'm excited to play some games. I'm having major FOMO right now with Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. I kind of really want to play it. But
Yeah,
I've decided just last night that I am going to play Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 and Stalker 2, maybe sometime this year. So these two hard masochist games, I'm going to get into them. We're going to do it. I have my final thoughts real quick. I'll just say that, yeah, I mean, this is a state of play on February 12th. It's random as hell. So I wasn't expecting like a barn burner. So it was fine. I will say that my expectations will be higher, fair or not. Come June, when it's E3 season, when they have their showcase or state of play, I will have higher expectations. I'll be expecting more. But for this one, it's February. It is what it is. Some of the games were cool, and that's that. My final thoughts.
Mine, though, I will say, I think maybe why my expectations were higher was that on Twitter, all these Sony devs and even some like these insiders were all saying like, you guys have to tune in tomorrow. Like it's gonna be great. Like, and like, not saying they should do the Aaron Greenberg thing of, guys, keep your expectations in check. It's not gonna be that good. Like they definitely shouldn't do that. But don't hype it up as if it's gonna be like the best showcase ever. It should just straight up, you should just be tweeting out like, check out tomorrow where we're going to show off some new games and some ones that have already been announced. Like that's all you need to do. And then people are going to go in with tempered expectations. But when you're saying like, you guys got to see tomorrow, I think my guess is what the, you have to see this thing is Saros. And I don't care. Was Mind's Eye done by the GTA guy? I wasn't paying attention really. I think it was like one of the writers.
I think it was. Yeah.
Yeah, so maybe
I
that
think
was
it
the
was
other
like
one we're
their
supposed to be super hyped about or something. But I'll be honest, that game looked like a 70 on Metacritic, so I don't have much hype for it. But yeah, I don't know. Some of my final thoughts is I think they overhyped it a little bit, and we shouldn't expect much, like you said, out of when it's announced a day before it's, or 2 days before it's actually happening. Maybe you should temper them, but yeah, they tried hyping it up a little bit, so I was disappointed. But oh well, I still like my PlayStation. I'm not going to break it. It's okay. Yeah. Bring us home, Sean.
Well, all right. Well, that was our very special limited edition DLC episode of Games Over Plastic. I am Sean. I was joined by Hodge and Midnight. Bye, guys.
Bye.
End of the episode.